YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It's me again, Mr. Wade. I'm your host, Wait a Minute POV. Thank y'all for coming back and chilling with me. I want to thank all of the subscribers who have subscribed in the last few days, man. Y'all the best, for real though. And just remember, all the videos that we show, entertainment and educational purposes only. You already know what it is. So, without further ado, let's get right into it.
What a U.S. war with China look like? Immediately, the war kicks off, not with bombs or missiles, but with a barrage of cyber attacks from both sides. Power grids flicker out, satellites spin out of control, and the internet becomes a battlefield. The Chinese hackers target military communications, causing chaos before a single shot is fired. After 24 hours, the conflict escalates. The U.S. strikes strategic military sites in China, while China launches precision attacks on U.S. bases in the Pacific. The skies buzz with drones, while navies maneuver intense standoffs on the high seas. After 3 days, China announces the use of AI-powered weapons. Autonomous drones swarm the skies, and robotic soldiers march alongside humans. These AI weapons can think, adapt, and kill with chilling efficiency. The battlefield is now a testing ground for futuristic warfare, with both sides unleashing terrifying machines that operate beyond human limits. After 1 week, the unthinkable happens. The first nuclear missile is launched. The world watches in horror as the specter of nuclear war becomes a reality. International efforts to mediate escalate in desperation. After 1 month, there's no victor, only devastation. Millions have lost their lives, cities lie in ruins, and the global economy is in tatters. Both the US and China face the consequences of a war that has scarred the planet. What would happen if China and Russia attacked the U.S. at the same time? Immediately, U.S. intelligence systems detect incoming threats from both China and Russia, instantly informing the president. The nation's alert systems activate, sending shockwaves of panic across the country. The U.S. military mobilizes with unprecedented speed. After 1 hour, the entire country is on high alert. Cities from coast to coast prepare for the huge impact, with emergency services stretched to their limits. Citizens are advised to seek shelter, stock up on essentials, and stay informed through emergency broadcasts. After a few hours, sophisticated cyber attacks from China and Russia aim to cripple the U.S. military's command, control, and communication systems. These digital onslaughts, executed by some of the world's most skilled hackers, severely disrupt U.S. defense capabilities, giving the attackers a critical advantage. After 3 days, NATO steps in, adhering to the principle that an attack on one is an attack on all. Allied forces rally to the U.S.'s aid, opening new fronts and complicating the strategic calculus for China and Russia. After 1 week without the use of nuclear weapons, the combined power of Russia and China inflicts massive destruction on the U.S., fundamentally altering global power dynamics. What would happen if World War III started tomorrow? After 15 minutes, all the presidents of every country would tell citizens to stay at home, and a global lockdown would soon follow. After 12 hours, all borders of all countries would be closed, and concerns about nuclear weapons would quickly develop. After 1 day, the rich and powerful begin taking refuge in underground bunkers, leaving regular citizens to fend for themselves. After 2 days, communication systems and the internet go out completely, and the world goes dark. After 3 days, the first nuke is used, which causes a chain reaction of retaliation. After 4 days, the air is so polluted that sunlight can no longer be seen from Earth, causing extreme consequences. After 1 week, food production comes to a halt, causing the global food chain to collapse, and 2 billion people are left without food. After 1 month, the ozone layer is destroyed. After 1 year, after billions of displacements, thousands of citizens are gone. Humans begin the process of rebuilding, and the Earth is forever scarred by this catastrophe. If a country cut off the global internet cables, immediately the world plunges into chaos. Financial markets freeze, millions of messages into the ether, and emergency services struggle to communicate. After a few hours, panic spreads. Without access to news or social media, rumors run wild. People rush to stockpile food and water, fearing the worst. After 24 hours, the global economy is in shambles. Billions of dollars are lost as transactions fail. International trade grinds to a halt, leading to a sudden spike in prices for basic goods. 3 days later, people are unable to use digital payments and rush to ATMs, but with banking systems down, cash becomes king. Those without cash face immediate struggles to secure basic needs like food and water. A week later, governments scramble to deploy alternative communication methods. Satellite phones become a lifeline for the few who can access them. After a month, the world slowly adapts. People revert to older methods of communication and entertainment. Newspapers and radio stations experience a renaissance. 3 months later, the internet begins to flicker back to life in some areas. But the world has changed. Trust in digital infrastructure is severely damaged, and the global economy faces a long road to recovery. What would happen? Mexico. Immediately, the U.S.'s overwhelming military force quickly crosses into Mexico, leveraging its superior air power and technology. The disparity in military capabilities means Mexico's defenses are quickly overwhelmed, causing widespread panic. After one day, major cities and strategic locations come under U.S. control. Mexico's military, despite its valiant efforts, struggles to repel the advanced U.S. forces. After 3 days, the conflict causes a humanitarian crisis, with thousands displaced and essential services disrupted. International condemnation grows. Military engagement continues. After a week, Mexican forces, including the Army and Marines, struggle valiantly against the U.S. but face severe challenges. Civilians begin forming resistance groups, showcasing a national effort to defend their country against the invasion. After a month, in a desperate move, the Mexican government releases prisoners, enlisting them to bolster the country's defense. This controversial decision highlights the dire situation and the lengths to which Mexico is willing to go to defend its sovereignty. After 3 months, the entire nation, from civilians to the military, is engaged in the defense effort. Losses mount on both sides, leading to a staggering toll that underscores the devastating human cost of the conflict.
All of those scenarios together, that means what? Nothing good. I mean, you can say whatever you want to about, this is not going to happen because America's a super. No, they're not. They're not. If China and Russia get together, which it seems like they're doing right now, it's gonna be bad for the United States of America. Real talk. So, yeah, superpower, all that stuff sounds good, but it's not true. But let's move on to the next.
Happening with the Chinese government or Chinese nationals buying farmland. I've got a map, if I can find it, of where they're buying this land, and it's around U.S. military installation. They're buying up land around U.S. military installations. When you look at the amount of land that they're buying, it's not all that a lot of land, but given as much land as there is, it's like maybe less than 1%. You look at it strategically around military installations, it's really concerning. Then when you look at what's happening, like B-2 stealth bomber training, drone training and all, it's very, very troubling.
It's kind of crazy that the United States has been invaded.
They're building a wind farm where it's not very windy. Does butt up against a strategic military installment.
What a coincidence. This is the best land that was available. In China, you can't do that. They're smart.
We absolutely cannot buy farmland there.
No, you can't buy their businesses either.
So we're talking about China buying up farmland, right? Okay, but it's not just farmland anywhere. It's close to military bases. What the? Really? He broke it down for you. Yeah. Really? Close to military bases and all that facilities. And then us as Americans, we can't even go to China to buy a fucking nickel off the ground. Strange, ain't it? But we gonna move on to the next.
Remember him? Jeffrey Epstein. Still did not kill himself. He is still alive. My strong suspicion is, yes, just that he is alive and well somewhere. That his death was faked. Try looking for the pictures of his body. All right, they actually are findable on the internet. Once you find them, this is not the picture. You'll see somebody who is not dead. Jeffrey Epstein, quick review, 2008, convicted of all kinds of sex crimes, procuring erotic massages from children. Very, very serious stuff. Epstein was a high school teacher at a prestigious prep school here in New York City. It's called the Dalton School. And this is all the way back in the 1970s. He was a math and science teacher at the Dalton School, okay? Epstein did not have a college degree. Generally speaking, you need those to, be a teacher, to get a teaching certificate. And here's where it gets really weird. The man who hired him at the Dalton School, his name is Donald Barr. He is the late father of William Barr, the Attorney General. Yes, that guy. Isn't that crazy? I'm not implying there's anything... No, I'm not implying anything. I'm just pointing out that that is totally, totally weird, and that all of these ultra-important people gravitated around Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, and now this CIA director. That's really crazy. And you know they like to play this video. Well, Donald Trump was friends with him as well. You got to go way, way, way back, way before any of this stuff came to light. And Donald Trump did finally get the vibe that this guy was no good, cut all ties with him years before he was arrested for these unspeakable crimes. He's almost always right. Actually, he's always
the Epstein thing, I mean, they done beat that to death. No pun intended, but yeah. He not gone. He just in somewhere hiding. Too much money, you know what I'm saying? All of the fake pictures and the fake thing like, oh, the cameras weren't on and all that. Shut your ass up. They were. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are just playing the game like it's supposed to be played, right? Let's move on to the next.
What if Yellowstone erupted today? Yellowstone National Park is famous for its stunning beauty and unique hot springs. But beneath its surface lies a huge magma chamber, one of the biggest on Earth. If Yellowstone erupted, disaster. Enormous ash clouds would fill the sky, blocking out the sun and making it dark. Ash would spread for miles, affecting states and cities across the United States. Animals caught in the direct path of lava flows, ashfall, and pyroclastic flows would face the greatest risk. People near Yellowstone would have to leave quickly, and emergency workers would have a tough time helping everyone. The effects would be felt for a long time. Even though it's not likely to happen soon, the danger is real. So what can we do to be ready for unexpected events like this? How can we stay safe in the face of nature's power? Like and subscribe, or risk getting tossed into Yellowstone's next eruption.
Oh yeah, man. If Yosemite, you know, that volcano, hella big, hella sick, if that was to like go off or, you know, erupt or whatever, bruh, that's gonna be our worst nightmare, for real. Just like how all of the shit that's happening right now is our worst nightmare. Just because you living in a place where a lot of stuff is not happening don't mean that that shit is not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to think about other people too, though. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but yeah, if that shit erupts, we are doomed, 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 doomed. They already talking about the eclipse. That shit right there is something else too, though. But let's move on to the next one.
You will decide how this story ends. This is a story about us, the indoor generation. A generation that spent 90% of its life indoors. It all started the day we left nature behind. We filled our homes with lovely things and all the stuff we wanted. Our homes became places you would never want to leave. Artificial light replaced daylight. And we built our houses so that nothing could escape. We cooked and showered, breathed and played, slept and sweated. But we had closed ourselves in to a point where nothing could get out. So when the air turned bad inside, we tried fixing it with chemicals. And we put in little artificial suns everywhere to make the darkness bearable. That's when things started to happen. Hard to notice in the beginning. Some needed help to sleep, to breathe, to not itch. Many of us even started to feel sad. So we turned on happy lamps to make the sadness go away. Then, scientists discovered that the air inside our homes is up to 5 times more polluted than the air outside, and that the lack of daylight can affect children's learning and increase blood pressure. It turns out that kids' rooms often have the highest concentration of toxicants in the house. In fact, millions of homes are unhealthy to live in. They discovered that living in damp and moldy homes increases the risk of asthma by 40%. And I learned that millions of people like me suffer from asthma and allergies caused by a bad indoor environment. And so, here we are. How the story ends is up to you, because it's not written yet.
Hey, yo, that last video, kind of deep. You know what I'm saying? Because what she's saying is basically true. The indoor society, like nobody really goes outside anymore. I know it's a lot of people I see, even on, you know what I'm saying, all of my social media, that people be out and, you know, like that though. But a lot of people are inside and they stuck inside and they love to be inside. And I'm kind of like one of them ones. I'm one of them people who like to not be outside like that though. And then when I'm outside, I love it. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. So it's like a oxymoron type shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, the way that we live is crazy because some people are, you know what I'm saying, really inside people. They will not go outside for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But then there's people who like to be outdoors all the time. So it's all good though. You know what I'm saying? You can't judge anyone who feels the way they feel. But you know what I'm saying? She was right though, man. We're basically built on this inside thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna drop another video later. This is Wait a Minute POV. Thank y'all for coming back and chilling with me. This is Mr. Wade. I'm your host. And I'm gonna see y'all on the next go round. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeet.
No one way.